A federal grand jury in the District of Kansas has returned an 8-count indictment against 8 defendants for their alleged roles in forced labor conspiracy that victimized numerous minors who between 20 and 2012 worked in various fast food and other businesses in Kansas and around the United States. The indictment alleges that from 2000 to 2012, defendants participating in running an organization called the United Nation of Islam, an organization founded by now deceased Royal Jenkins. It alleged to have subjugated multiple minors employed and operated businesses in Kansas City, New York, New Jersey, Georgia, Connecticut, Ohio, and elsewhere to forced labor. It alleges that over the course of more than a decade, the defendants coerced the victims into physically demanding laborers various owned businesses around the United States. The defendants allegedly used coercing tactics such as separating victims from their families, withholding food, abusing victims physically and verbally, subjecting victims to crowded living conditions, psychological manipulation, degrading treatment, isolating victims, and limited their abilities to interact with anyone outside the actual um, organization, and suggest to victims that those who left the actual organization met tragic consequences. Although the victims were school aged, it is alleged that all defendants did not provide them with an adequate or legitimate education. So this reminds me of the actual. This reminds me of the actual of this other a church in El Centro, and what they did. They actually how they got their actual victims, how they trafficked their victims because they came from out of the El Centro area. So they targeted mostly homeless people, and they actually they coerced them to surrender welfare benefits, compelling them to panhandle up to 9 hours a day, 6 days a week, for the financial benefit of the church leaders. See, and they had these guys selling like candies at the corner, and whatever hustle they can get these guys into, they'll do that, and they'll send them. They'll ask them to collect welfare benefits and like their food stamps, and then that would go into the pantries of their actual group homes because they had like group homes throughout California, and El Centro, Chula Vista, San Diego, even in Texas they had one out there. So what they did was they would actually see how much they can actually get out of these homeless people and turn around and have them as prisoners in these group homes. They would even like nail shut the actual window so they couldn't escape. They take their actual food stamps card away. They even denied a certain gentleman diabetes supplies to go to the doctor to get diabetes supplies. They even denied him that, and then they would also threaten them physically, if they were try to get away or try to tell somebody. And there was quite a few, a bit got also on this conspiracy too. And when I tell you they set them out throughout the day, it's an all day thing out in the sun. They'll give them like a riggedy t-shirt and put it on, and then they look a little bit legit. But that's how much money can you make selling 50-cent candies? At the corner. So they got these guys out in the sun all day, and then come back and then feed them the minimum. And of course, they were they their purpose was to restore drug addiction at a faith-based rehabilitation group homes and raise money to open churches in other cities to do the same. See, and so they got pretty dinged up, and they were called the Imperial Valley Ministries. I remember that. Okay, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe.